Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, as promised, we are going to be looking at the stamps and the cutting dies that are at Dollar Tree. So in the last video, I was sharing 22 card making supplies that you can find at Dollar Tree. I was so excited to see that they are offering some card making supplies that can really get your foot in the door with card making or can just expand your collection. We are going to really look at stamps and dies today and see if they really do work. Now, in previous videos, we have actually tested the stamps out, so we know these work great. In the last video that we did together, and I will link that video down below, we created this beautiful card with this summer stamp set. And if you remember, or if you haven't seen that video, I'll definitely link it so that you can catch up. But if you remember from watching that video, these stamped out beautifully. They did an amazing job. And we were also exploring that Dollar Tree also is offering these really nice stamping blocks as well. So I was showing you how you can use those. They work amazing as well. Okay, we've also played around with this stamp set a little bit longer ago, but I'll link that video as well because we used that stamp set to create this fun little card. Isn't this neat? So both of those videos will be linked down below if you want to catch up if you did miss those videos. I think this was a video about lots of craft supplies that you can find at Dollar Tree, not specific to card making, but in general, fun craft supplies that you should really keep your eye out for. So we have definitely proven that the stamps at Dollar Tree work amazing. So knowing that, let's shift gears and let's look at the cutting dies. Now, these were the cutting dies that I found at my local Dollar Tree. This one is really neat. It's a little variety of leaves. I love these. I'm thinking of playing with this, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing quite yet. Let's just see where this video takes us. I also found these really nice little heart nesting dies. These are fun as well. And I believe these are the actual sizes. Okay, I was really drawn to this originally when I found this at Dollar Tree. I think this is adorable. I love these little borders. On the back, it does give you some ideas of what you can do with them. You can either create it as an actual border to your card or you can layer them one on top of the other. This was actually my kind of original idea, is doing something super colorful, but I love that. Okay, and then this is kind of a corner cutting die, or I guess you don't have to put it in the corner because on the back, it gives you a variety of ideas. I kind of look at immediately as a corner type of decor, but I love that when you flip the little package over, you're given a lot of fun ideas. And some of these I would not have thought of. I think this is really cool. Okay, so do these work? Let's go ahead and get started and test these out. So because I'm gonna be doing just small cutting today, I'm going to be bringing in my little mini die cut machine. I do have full-size die cut machines, but I love this one so much when I just need to do small cuts. So that's all ready to go. And I'm just trying to decide what I want to do. I kind of think I wanna start with this. I think this is so neat. So let's go ahead and pull this out. And I was thinking we could just do something really fun and colorful with some scrap cardstock. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring these off of the sheet. And so far, now I've never opened these before. So this is the first time I'm getting to really hold them. Oh, if you can hear in the background, you might not be able to hear. I'm not sure if the microphone is catching up, but we are having a mighty thunderstorm. And I don't know about you. Let me know if you like thunderstorms or not. I love thunderstorms, especially when it's just a nice summer evening. Okay, so I have these little wire snips, and all I'm going to do is just come in and trim these apart, getting really close to the die so I don't have a little metal edge. Oh, that popped that middle part right off. Do you see that? Had a little circular piece. I'm wondering, actually, those kind of just come off really easily. I don't know that I even need the snips. I might though when I get to this little portion here. So let's see if I can get that off. All right. And actually, you know what? I'm going to try the next set if we can just do it without the snips, because those broke apart really nicely. Okay, I'm thinking, all of these are so neat, but I'm thinking it would be fun to do a little wreath with this little guy. Okay, so I went ahead and I found a variety of just little scrap pieces that I have here, and hopefully we can get some cuts just so out of these. I think that'll work. Okay, so I have my little die cut machine, and then I also have washi tape that I found at Dollar Tree that I shared in that card making haul. And this is so nice for securing dies. So I am going to place my metal die right on my paper, secure it down with some tape, and then put our little plate on. And let's test this out to see how well it cuts. I am so anxious to see because I've had these in my craft room for a bit. Really excited to get them opened, so truth be told, ooh, okay, not all the way through. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna face it the other way. I'm going to see if I can run it through one more time. I'll do this, and then we'll go right back through them. We'll see. If not, maybe I can add a little shim. Okay, let's see here. It is a little bit better. Let's get our tape off here and see if we can pop this out. Oh, it's like 98% cut. So I'm gonna see if I can pop this out or if I need to redo. Oh, okay, there it goes. Now, there's our first little piece. I am going to see about, I'll just use this as a shim. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my little die right on my paper, just like I did. And I'm going to see if I can just add a little bit of paper on top to give a little bit more pressure. Okay, now all of the cardstock that I'm using is listed down below. I think it is about, gosh, you know, I'm not sure how thick it is. It is Concord and 9th colored cardstock. And I want to say it's definitely between 80 and 100 pound. It is lovely. Okay, so let's see if that helped at all. Just giving a little bit more pressure. I think it did. So let's go ahead and pop this out. So it just needed a little bit more. Okay, well, I'm gonna test out some others as well. Some other dies as we kind of keep crafting with all of these goodies. So we'll just see if maybe it's just these leaves or if it's Dollar Tree dies in general. Now, I mentioned this in the last video, and I feel it's worth it to mention again that you know, this die set was $1.25. I say that because I feel like we need to also remember how much we paid for this, right? So it's just nice to always keep that in mind. Okay, so here is where we're at so far. I'm gonna go ahead, I'll keep cutting these out with the paper shim, and then we'll start creating. I think these are doing good. We just have to kind of find the secret, and that's what it's all about when you're trying new products, is figuring out how to get them to work. Okay, so I'm finishing up my last cut. Ever since I added the additional cardstock shim, I had 0 problems. So here are all of my little pieces. Again, we'll test with some other dies to see if that's really necessary to add that additional pressure or if that was maybe just this little collection. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side, and let's go ahead and build our first little card. first thing I want to do is just grab a paper trimmer. I have here an A2 size panel. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 are those dimensions to make up that A2 size. So what I'm going to do is just take 1/4 of an inch off each side. So one side will be trimmed at 4, and then the other side will be at 5 1/4, and I just want that to be a tad smaller. In fact, I'm wondering if I want to even do it a little bit smaller than that. Let's do final measurements at 3 3/4 by 5. Just given the size of my little dies, I think that might kind of nestle in a little bit easier. Okay, so I am going to, as you could kind of see as I was arranging these, I'm going to make a little wreath, if you will, a little rainbow wreath. And let's see if I can manage to kind of freehand that. Something like this. Hopefully I have enough. And here. And finally, kind of tuck here. Okay, actually I think I do have enough. I just need to kind of pull a couple out. All right, so I think that looks super cute. What I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and just glue that down. I will grab some Barely Art glue. Everything that I am going to be using within this video, I will absolutely link down in the description box below for you. Now, I'm sure that Dollar Tree does have some adhesives. The purpose of this video is simply testing the dies, although we will bring in some other Dollar Tree items that I did find, but I really like a good glue, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now, again, in my last video, we did create a fun card using some of those supplies that I found at Dollar Tree, so be sure to check that out if you did miss that. It was a good fun video. Okay, hopefully I can freehand this just as well with glue this time. Okay, as you can see, I have that way to over to one side. So I am, before all that glue really sets up, I'm going to try to start over. Alright, just had to redo a couple. I might have to make myself a little template. That's usually how I make a wreath, but I thought I could just wing it today. And I'm showing that I need to have a little template. Okay, so let me get my panel back out and we can redo. Okay, so I have my panel back out. Again, it was about 3 3/4 by 5. And what I think I'll do is I'm going to use just a circle die that I have. I think it was just about that big. So what I'll do is I am just going to create myself a very light little template to follow so that I stay towards the middle and upper side of my card. Okay, so there is my little template. So you can also cut out like a circle ring and then glue it onto that. But I think I'm going to be good to go here. All right. Lesson learned. If you aren't good at freehanding things like me, make yourself a little guide. Okay, let's redo. I am just going to follow this. Now it's nice because it actually does have a natural curve. Most of these pieces, except for two, I was able to go ahead and peel up, so didn't waste too much cardstock. However, all of this came from my scrap bin, so I am not too worried. I love scrap buster cards. Okay, last one kind of didn't want to stick very well. There we go. We just kind of scoot it in there. Come on, little lilac piece. Okay, I had to grab a little blue. Stick it under this pink real quick. Okay, there we go. I had to grab a little blue piece to extend my rainbow just a little bit. I needed a spacer. So there we go. Whoop. Okay. Tricky little one today. All right, so there is, oh, that's fun. There's my little rainbow wreath. I think that's really cute. Okay, so let's set this to the side. I think that's fun. And let's add a little greeting and then put this on a card base. Okay, so since the Dollar Tree stamps that I found are llama stamps and summer stamps, they don't really have any coordinating sentiments that will work for my cards. So I'm just going to grab something from my stash. I have a really cute kind of versatile stamp set here for sentiments, and I'll link it down below. And I think I'm just going to put this happy everything right in the middle here, and that'll be really cute. Okay, I'm going to cling that to my little stamp door here. This is a new stamp, new to me at least. So I will condition it just to get all of the coating off of there that gets on there when they create the stamp. And then with some black ink, I'll just come in and stamp my sentiment. Oh, I think that's gonna look really nice. Pretty. Oh, I kind of got a little bit of extra right on the P, but that is okay. Let me clean that off. And there we go. And let's get this on our little card base here. I'm going to do a top folding A2 card. So what I'll do is grab a sheet of 110-pound cardstock, and this is sized at 11 by 4 1/4, and I'll place my score mark right at 5 1/2, and we will just crease that. And let's go ahead and grab some of that foam tape that I found at Dollar Tree. I actually did not mind that at all. This was in the office supply section. They call it a mounting tape. They do also in the craft section have a foam tape that comes in a 3-pack with a variety of widths. This is actually thicker than this mounting tape. See how much thicker that is? Let's see, whoops, if I can get my finger out of the way there. Whoop, hold on, get focused. Okay, so see that? It's much thicker, but I don't mind that because I just need a little bit of dimension here. Actually, what I was gonna do is see if I could grab my mono sand eraser and just very delicately get some of that additional ink out of that middle piece there. Just looked like I had a little bit too much on my stamp. I'm not sure I can get that off or if I just need to get over it. I think I just need to get over it, but that'll be okay. Okay, so we'll do our foam tape with some non-stick scissors and get this on our panel. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna remove, and I remember last time I need to go a little slower. There we go, that way it doesn't rip. And it'll come off much nicer if I'm just taking my time. There we go. Okay, so let's place this right on our card base here. I love that white on white that gives the tension at that wreath. I think that's really fun. I think this is turning out really nice. I'm gonna put a little bit of shine on here and then we will be done with this first card. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit of sequins here that I find to be super pretty, and I'll link this down below. It's really fun, especially when working with rainbows. But let me grab a sequins tray. Goodness, every tray I have is occupied with sequins right now. So, good old dump on the mat. And actually what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to overthink this. I am just going to go through and just kind of place these on a variety of little berries. Trying not to be too methodical, but sometimes I get a little methodical. Okay, I already have one on there, so I'll place one there. Just to bring in some visual interest and some shine. I think that'll be fun. I'm grabbing the smallest of this sequins. There. Okay. So far the stamps work, and like I said, I already did that in a video, so we're going to focus on the dies, but so far the stamps really work well, and so far with a little additional pressure, the dies are doing a great job too. Okay, let's put this final one here, and oh my gosh, that turned out really cute. I think that's really fun. Okay, so there is our first little card using the Dollar Tree dies. I think that is darling. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to let's grab maybe the hearts. Well, let's see what we should do next, and let's test out some more cutting of these dies. Okay, so here are the additional dies that we have. I was thinking that it might be fun to do this heart. I think maybe we could do a shaker. I also had some shaker fill from Dollar Tree that I thought would be fun. So let's try the hearts. Now, I was going to see, you know, it's really pretty durable. I'm pretty impressed. But again, might just need some additional pressure. I am though going to use these little snips though, only because I don't want to poke myself. Especially when they're nested in there, I feel like it can be just a tad trickier. Ooh, they really get that adhesive on there. And just to save my fingers, there we go. And finally this little last one here, and I think if I just kind of hold it and twist it, there we go. Okay, let's grab a panel once more and let's think about a shaker card. I like the idea of doing that smaller size for my panel once more. So we're gonna do 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, and then what I want to do is I'm going to need a larger die cut machine than my mini here, which is fine. I'll just grab my bigger one. I'm going to see where I want my little windows, and we'll create a little trio of windows to make our shaker. Okay, I'm thinking that looks really fun. Yeah. Okay. Maybe bring, well, let's think. I want to think about a sentiment before I decide exactly. I'm just going to use the same little sentiment set. And I mean, even like I think you're wonderful would be so cute. Yeah, why don't we just do I think you're wonderful? I think that's really fun. So I'm going to grab the washi tape from Dollar Tree. Let's just get it all kind of finalized here. Okay, there's that. Okay, I think I'm gonna do something like this actually, and then I'll put my sentiment in this little opening here. So if I do there, okay, let's go ahead and run this through. I'll run it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6, and then we'll be ready to create the shaker. Okay, so grabbing a larger machine. It's just a hair too big, and put our panel right on there with all of our dies. Now let's see how it cuts out. Well, I guess we could test how it cuts out on a different machine too. Although now we don't have it on the same exact machine. I could do a test cut of this heart over here. Okay, that worked really good. Okay, so since I did my test, or my wreath on the little tiny machine, let me go ahead and do a test cut over there just to see if it's going to need more pressure on that machine or not. So I'll just grab really quickly, let's grab this little guy and grab some cardstock. And really, to be honest, everybody's machine itself is going to cut a little bit different. So your machine and my machine are not going to cut exactly alike, just like two machines in my craft room aren't going to cut exactly alike. So all this being said, now you just know that you may or may not need to add a little bit of pressure, and if you need to, just add a little paper shim until you get your desired cut. So, oh, that cut out. Okay, that cut out really nice. Well done. Okay, so you might need a shim, you might not. It might be the die, it might be the pressure on your machine, but those are all normal things anyway. Okay, so here's our little hearts. How cute are those? Now, before I do anything else for my shaker, what I want to do is I'm going to bring in my mini Misty once more. And before I get my panel built to be a shaker, which is going to make it a little bit bulkier, I will put my sentiment on. So again, I kind of like all the feels actually. Let's do that. All the feels. So I'm just going to position that here. Oh, I like how that kind of takes that shape of that area as well. Okay, I'll take my other stamp off And there we go. Condition it. Okay, ink this up. And you know what? I think my stamp has a little flaw in it. There's like a little line through that T. Yeah, how interesting. I've never seen that before. You know what I'll do though? I'm not worried because I still really like that sentiment for this. So what I'll do is I'm just going to grab, actually I'm going to grab a different size. I'm going to grab the, I think this is not number 3. Number 3 should be fine. I'm just going to grab this pen and I will just mend it really quickly. And just like that, voila. Okay, so I have this little micron size 3 and that's all good. Okay, so let's go ahead and build the shaker. Now, also at Dollar Tree, you can find this score tape. And this is really, really great for doing shaker cards. So I found this, it was in that haul that I did. I really enjoyed that video because I felt as if there was just so many things that you could do and grab for card making at Dollar Tree. I was really impressed. So now what I'm using this for, and you could use liquid glue as well, absolutely. Just do your preference. But what I'm doing here is I'm just applying some adhesive because now the next step is placing my acetate so that I can create little windows for my hearts. That way my shaker fill doesn't fall out. Okay, so there is that. Another little Dollar Tree item in use. And I didn't get to use this in that last video, so I'm glad I can demonstrate it now. Give it a little test spin. And there we go. Okay, so now with score tape, just kind of have to rub it down. Whoops. And then what you'll do is just peel the liner up. Rub it down really well. Peel the liner up, and then you have your adhesive right there. So let me do it for the remaining pieces. And even with, you know, score tape that isn't from Dollar Tree, you really have to rub it down. In fact, sometimes I even grab a bone folder and really rub just to make sure it's really stuck on the paper so that it will release the liner. Okay. There we go. And, ooh, it is, goodness, it's sticky. Last little one here. Now, let me grab some acetate. And I have these acetate sheets. What I will do, to make this easy on myself, what I'll do is I'm going to do a full sheet. So I was at 3 3/4. I will do 3 1/2. And I was at 5, right? No, 5. So I will do 4 3/4. It's just a little bit smaller. And then I'll take my acetate sheet and place it right over that score tape. Okay, there we go. So now when I turn it over, I have my little windows there. Okay, now when I was at Dollar Tree, I found a variety of options for fill. I found this tube confetti. We have like a silver, a gold, and then more of a kind of holographic iridescent color, which I'm thinking would be really fun. I also found this, which is super fun as well. This came in a variety of colors too, so that is really fun. Another one I found was this, well, sprinkles actually. So in the baking aisle, or actually this was the party section, I found the sprinkles. You can do anything you'd like inside. So let me grab really quickly. I have this little basic stripe set. I'll link this down below. It's really fun. So what I think I'll do is use that as my background. And knowing that, I think I'll do this really fun kind of iridescent fill. I think that would be really kind of neat with this striped background. And in fact, I think I actually might grab just a little bit of a lighter pink instead. Yeah, I think that will be really neat. Okay, so before I do anything though, I need to build up my little gates, if you will. And that's where I'm gonna grab the foam tape that I found in the craft section because it is thicker. So, and respectively, it is thinner too, and I'm gonna need to create a little gate around these openings. So what I think I'll do here is I'm going to create, first I'm gonna go all the way around. Now, one thing about the Dollar Tree foam tape is it is really, really sticky. And I know you're thinking, Bethany, of course it's tape, it's an adhesive, it's supposed to be sticky. It is next level sticky. I mean, I'm sure they could put it on like an airplane and make a, I don't know, make some kind of fix because it's really, really over the top. So, not complaining, it's just something I've noticed about it. But that works, right? Okay, so I want to cut off that hard there. I think it's gonna be okay. All right, now, usually I would kind of, you know, I'm not gonna make this super complicated. Usually I would kind of make it so that each little heart had its own little opening or gate for fill. That way, you know, would have an opening here. Let's see, should I do that? Well, why don't I do it so I can demonstrate it? That way, yeah, let's just do it. That way, we're allowing sequins to kind of stay within certain areas. Now, the thing about this part when doing the foam tape is that you want to make sure that you're closing it. You close it all around because you don't want any to fall out. And now I'm just creating little gates between each heart. So some of the foam tape will, some of the sequins will stay up here. Some of it is going to stay in this area for this heart. That way, when your card is sitting up, and I will show you right now. Okay, when your card is sitting up, well, let's see it from this side. Look, I got a little tape there. Your sequins isn't falling down to the bottom. It's instead staying in its little section. And I'm not really worried about this there. I mean, I could just close that off so it's officially good, but there we go. Okay, now what I want to do, okay, let's get this, oops, that wasn't the color I wanted. Let's get our paper trimmed down that we're gonna put on here. So again, we were at 3 3/4. It's kind of falling out of camera there, sorry about that. 3 3/4. And I might make it just a tad smaller. 3 5/8. And this was by 5, so I'm going to do 4 7/8. Okay, so that will fit, but it's not, if I don't get it exactly lined up, it's not going to poke out the sides. So I'm just doing it a tad smaller to give myself some grace. Does that make sense? So this was 3 3/4 by 5, and I just made this 1/8 of an inch shorter on each side. That way it kind of just gets placed just so. And then I don't have any peeking off the side. Okay, let's go ahead, and what I like to do is do the little filler right now before taking the little strips off. So I will go ahead and just, you know what I'm going to do is take a little scissor and just open a little bit, and I'm going to place that right in here. Okay, just enough. Same here. And here. Okay. There we go. Now for this next part, I think I got it a little full over here because now it's not going to shake anywhere. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. So now what I think I'll do is peel really slowly and try not to bump it. This was the part that had tape on it, so I'm gonna have to trim that off in a minute. Oh, it's so sticky. Okay, and try not to make any sudden movements, because if you do, all the sequins just kind of jumps everywhere. You know what I'm gonna do? This is what I did one time and it was so helpful. I'm gonna tape this down. That way, see how it's kind of wanting to kind of not curl up, but it's just gonna kind of bending. And that kind of keeps going when you take the little pieces off. So, the little liners, excuse me. There we go. So I'm just gonna go super careful. I think actually taping it to your surface is the silent winner here, because then nothing moves. And if your card base moves while you're working, or your card panel moves while you're working on it, all the sequins just start jumping everywhere. And if they jump and stick on the tape, it's so frustrating. I'm just gonna be honest. I will trim this off. Just was where that started to start the roll. They had it taped closed. Okay, now I'll take this and I'm just going to close and contain all of my sequins. Okay, there we go. And now, since I made this a little bit smaller, I can simply just peel that off and peel that off. There we go. Okay, let's turn that over. Oh, how cute is that? Isn't that sweet? And then I have to take this kind of wrapped around the side, but we'll just grab that off. There we go. I think that's so cute. That is so fun. Now I will, I think, bring some sequins, not this little confetti stuff, but I'll bring that other sequins in and we'll see about adding a little bit more embellishment here. Okay, same thing with my card base. Exact same instructions because we're doing the same size card and top folding. So there we go with that. And because I already have, you know, I could do that score tape again if I'd like. I'll probably just do some liquid glue. Actually, you know what I could do? I will do the other mounting tape because it's so thin. It's not going to add, I mean, it will add a little bit of thickness, but not much. And I really like a foam tape because it sticks so well, so quick. Wham, bam, and done. So there we go, and there we go. And, you know, I don't even think I need one in the middle. Just get it all in there. Okay. So there are advantages to having foam adhesive strips with multiple thicknesses. Super, super helpful there. All right, so now we'll just put this on our card base. Center it. And that's how we would use, or one idea for how we would use the little nesting heart dies from the Dollar Tree. I think that's really fun. Okay, there we are. So we were able to go ahead and create 2 fun cards with those really neat metal dies from Dollar Tree. I was really impressed with how well they worked, and I'm excited that I got to test those out. I didn't end up actually putting any additional embellishment on this card. I thought it just was great and sparkly as is, and I didn't want to distract from that nice pretty shaker element. I hope that this was helpful, that if you see some of these products in your local Dollar Tree, that they actually do work and they're worth picking up if you wanted to create a card or two. Again, in another video I did go ahead, actually these are two separate videos, but I'll link them down below as always, but I did go ahead and test out the Dollar Tree stamps and they work great as well. So I hope this was helpful to you. That way, if you come across any of these products in the store, you will know that they do indeed work. As always, let me know down in the description box below if you have found any additional card making supplies at Dollar Tree. I would love to hear what you found at your store. All right, everyone, have a great day, and I can't wait to craft with you in the next video.